Wow, if only life could be this beautiful. Okay, I just set my home up, so I'm ready for you guys. Are you guys ready to come in? Come in. We're about to get into a quick video of how my semester has been, and then also plenty of life updates. So okay guys, so welcome back. I know it's been a while, so I do apologize for that, but I had to get my studio set up because I want to be like flawless when I'm recording. Plus, I was in the middle of a semester and I have learned that it does not work best for me when I have to edit a video and I also have to produce quality content. That just gives me so much anxiety on top of everything I'm already working on. So I have learned that I can only do so if I prioritize it. So I'm on break right now. I have a 1.5 week break, so I can officially film. And today was my last day of clinical. Could refresh you guys about things I did this semester versus waiting until next month, which is when I was going to record this video. So let's get to it. So just finished MedSurgII, and guys, I left the class with a 88%. So I was so close to getting an A, like I was just so close. MedSurg was so heavy on information, like it was a lot of pathophysiology on steroids. That is the best way I can explain it. It was like patho on steroids. Plus clinical was hectic. Clinical was, I could say that fundamentals prepared me for clinical, or what I thought clinical would be like, but truly and honestly, having that in-person hands-on experience is really what prepared me. Like I felt like once I got to my first patient, so let me walk you guys through how the first day looked. So first day we had to be there by 6:30 a.m. even though rounding doesn't start until 7. We met our preceptors, we met the PCTs that were on the floor, and then we got a report about how the night shift went. And so we were always assigned one patient, but if I got a patient that I was assigned that they didn't have a lot of complications or they were pretty stable, then I always requested to have an additional patient because I want that. Like I want that experience. I want to get the most out of my clinical experience. So like 1 week I had a patient who she was in for ERCP, so she had pancreatitis issues, and so she had a emergency procedure, and then she began to have complications from it, and so she was being treated, but she was on a PCA. She was ANO times 4. She was not at risk for falling, didn't have any allergy. There was nothing that I could have done for her besides administer medication. So I was like, can I have an additional patient? Because there's nothing else that I can do for her really. She's able to take her own medication. She did have high blood pressure, so I did have to assess her, and I had to do stand up, check their blood pressure, sit down, check their blood pressure, and then laying down while checking their blood pressure. So that was pretty cool to do. However, after that, it was just like all the patients are on anticoagulants to prevent DVT, and all of her medications were administered by mouth, and then that was it. She wouldn't hit a call light. Not that these are bad things, right? Like that's great that she's stable. It's just that for a clinical experience, I kind of want a patient that's very difficult, because I want to get this experience while I have a preceptor who could assist me with this versus become a nurse and get on the floor and not knowing how to handle it, right? So that was my idea. I did have a patient, this was the best clinical thus far. She had sickle cell anemia, and she had other comorbidities that I won't discuss just because of HIPAA, but that was her chief complaint. And so with that, her APTT levels were insane. So and her hemoglobin levels were they were terrible. Like, we had to do a blood transfusion. And so my preceptor allowed me to do the blood transfusion. And then, like, with my in-person clinical, there were only 4 of us in total. So my preceptor was like, this is for you. You can let them in if you want to, but this is your task. And I was like, well, I don't want to be selfish. You guys can come in. So I came in, I let them assist me. And so we set up like the normal saline line, and then she also had a double lumen, so we also had to wait for phlebotomy to come up to draw her levels, just to make sure that everything was okay before she got the transfusion. And then we did the dual check off with the 2 nurses, which was just so cool. They had such great teamwork, and that just made it so much easier for us as nursing students to be able to respect the work that they're doing, but also respect like the professionalism on the floor. So that was amazing. My preceptor was just, he was so good. I wish I could study under him like forever. And so that was a pretty cool clinical. She got her blood transfusion, and then that was the highlight of my clinical experience. I did have another patient another week who he was on dialysis, and this patient had other comorbidities, and they were so young, and it was just really difficult working with that patient. But they were also on heavy narcotics, so I wasn't able to like really communicate with the patient because they were like ANO ×1. So that was challenging, but it was a great experience too. Every week we got a new preceptor, and my preceptors were the bomb. I can honestly say that, whereas like other people have been like, oh, my preceptor, whatever. They weren't crazy about it, but I can't say that. I had a good experience. I'm really happy about that. Oh my gosh, the breakdown of our exams. So ironically, okay, so exam 1 I didn't do great. I got a 70%. Exam 2 I got an 88% because my preceptor that I had that week, my patient had sickle cell anemia, and we were so happy to be on hematology and cardiovascular that week. So I was able to recall everything from my clinical experience, plus like my voiceover PowerPoints and like taking notes and documentation and watching videos. So I got to do all of that, and I was so hands-on with it. And for me personally, once I do something hands-on, it's very difficult for me to forget how to do that task. So it asked me about like medication administration, and then like setting up the blood transfusion and like the dual sign-off. So these are all things I already did. So it just made sense for me to do well in an exam. And then exam 3, I got a 90%. Did I get 90? Yes, I got a 90%. So I did better on exam 3 than I did on 2, and certainly on 1. And then I could have gone to A. I think it was like, I forget what it was, but I did a quiz or something and I didn't get as high of a score. I think it was our first quiz. I didn't get the A that I wanted. But I was honestly happy to leave the class with the 88% because I was just like, this class is pretty challenging. Like, MedSurg is challenging. There's no way around it. However, people were preparing me for death. They were just like, oh my god, this class is so hard. Like, you're gonna have to do this and this. It just made me really concerned. And then I got to the class and I was like, okay, week 1 through 3 is over. Not terrible. Okay, maybe the hard stuff is gonna come in week 4. No. Week 6. No. Okay, so the class isn't hard, right? So I could honestly say that I felt challenged, but this class was much easier than pharmacology. So if you pass pharmacology, you'll do well in MedSurg for sure. So I started MedSurgII after this break, which we're gonna be more on like endocrine, respiratory, and I can't remember what else we're gonna do, but in this session we did cardiovascular, hematology, GI, musculoskeletal, and I am forgetting something. Oh, immunity, and yeah, that was what this semester was. So the rest of the session is, sorry, that's what this session was. So the rest of the session is going to be over like the rest of the body system. So I'm pretty excited about that. Preview week is coming up, so I'll be able to review like my calendar and all the assignments I would have to do, and I'll also get a head start if I want to. Well, I don't know, because I actually want to rest on this break, so we'll see. Like I said, my clinical experience was amazing. I will insert some clips within this video. You guys will see it.
You're gonna go a bit closer. Don't poke her yet.
Emily, are you capturing my face?
Closer. Beautiful. Now, poke gently into the vein. Keep going. Push in. You see the blood?
Yeah.
Once you see it, up, no, some right there. Yeah.
Good job.
Okay. That's it. You don't want to take out.
And you'll see a little bit of what my clinical experience was like. I really wish I can tell you guys more because so much more happened, but because of HIPAA purposes, I can only say so much, you know. So and again, I was placed at one of the top hospitals in Chicago, so I got to experience a lot. Like every day of clinical was crazy. Like every day was like, wow, I'm gonna get to do this, get through that. And then also I got to do 2 admits. So I got to admit patients, go through that entire process, which is actually pretty challenging, especially for the PCTs. Like they actually had to do a lot of work during that admission process. So shout out to them because wow, they do a lot of work. And that was my first time working with PCTs in the hospital, so I got to see a lot of the work that they do, and they need a raise. Like they absolutely deserve a raise. Like they had a lot of work to do, and I was amazed by their work, but I was disappointed at the amount of work that they had to do compared to the pay that they get. So yeah, shout out to all the good PCTs out there, because wow, yeah. So interprofessionally speaking, we got to work with the respiratory therapist. We also got to work with of course the physician, occupational therapy for the patients who were there from like injuries or post-op, and then our PCTs, of course, they are amazing. And then phlebotomy. So we got to work, and social work, of course. So we got to work with a lot of different people. Even though we had a weekend clinical, we still got to experience a lot, so I was really happy about that. Next session I will not get the in-person experience, unfortunately, because of COVID. We have to intertwine who gets clinical. Like if I got it this week, then this semester session, then someone else gets to get it next session. So that I'm not mad at that because I got my experience in person, and I'm pretty content with that. I will get 2 weeks of clinical though, which will be in person, but it won't be at a hospital. That's gonna be pretty cool. And so after MedSurg, so I finished MedSurg in August, and then after MedSurg I'll be on to my specialties. And so I do not think I'm going to do OB in September, which is what I'm scheduled for. And that's only because more than likely they will not have OB rotations identified for the weekend and evening program, which is the program that I'm in. So I'm not willing to compromise that experience. So instead, I'm going to try to get into mental health. So if they allow me to switch my clinical, I plan to do mental health in September, and then OB starting in November. Wait, is that how it goes? I'm sorry, August. So mental health starting in August, and then OB starting in late October, I believe. And then from there, guys, we are just like on an upward hill here. So yeah, things are going pretty fast, so I'm pretty excited. All right, I'm also gonna insert some of my self-care on Instagram, which if you don't follow me, stop here, pause the video, and follow my Instagram because I post a lot more on Instagram. All right guys, so if you have not already, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and comment down below if you have any recommendations of what you want to see more of. See you guys soon. Bye.